Germany just banned Microsoft Office formats from all government documents nationwide. Every federal ministry, state government, and municipal office, from Berlin to the smallest town council, can no longer use Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, or Excel files. Only two formats are permitted: Open Document Format and PDF. Microsoft's proprietary formats are excluded entirely. This might sound like a technical IT decision, but when you really dig into what this actually does, it is a deliberate move to cut American tech companies out of Europe's critical government infrastructure. I'm Elle of How Civil on YouTube. I have a PhD in computer science, and I use data analysis to spot patterns in geopolitics and economics. When we line up Germany's decision with the broader EU regulatory framework and recent US-EU tensions, what's happening becomes very clear. Europe is building digital sovereignty to insulate itself from American leverage. Germany's Federal Ministry for Digital and State Modernization published the Deutscheland Stack, the framework governing all digital infrastructure for German public administration. Under the Semantic Technologies and Real-Time Analytics pillar, only ODF and PDF are mandated as document formats. OOXML, Microsoft proprietary format, is not on the list. The rollout is targeted for 2028, covering federal, state, and municipal levels. Here's what Open Document Format actually is. ODF is an XML-based file format for Office documents, word processing, spreadsheet, presentations, that sort of thing. It's been an ISO standard since 2006, currently on version 1.4. It's vendor neutral, meaning no single company controls it. LibreOffice, the open-sourced Office suite, uses ODF as its default format. Microsoft Office can read and write ODF, but Microsoft's native formats are proprietary, controlled entirely by Microsoft, which is a US corporation headquartered in Redmond, Washington. The Deutschland Stack explicitly lists reducing lock-in effects as a core goal, prioritizes open-source solutions, and favors European providers over foreign alternatives. Florian Effenberger, executive director of the Document Foundation, stated, I'm quoting here, "This is not a recommendation or a preference, it is a mandate. Germany's decision to anchor ODF at the heart of its national sovereign stack confirms what we have argued for years. Open, vendor-neutral document formats are fundamental infrastructure for democratic, interoperable, and sovereign public administrations." What's really happening under the hood is essentially this. Proprietary document formats create structural dependency on the company that controls them. When every German government document for the past 2 decades exists on Microsoft formats, Germany essentially needs Microsoft software to read its own records. Microsoft sets licensing terms, prices, update schedules, and compatibility rules. If Microsoft decides one day to discontinue support for older formats, which it has done repeatedly, governments lose access to their own archives unless they pay for migration services. From what I've seen so far working with economic systems, the vulnerability extends beyond just commercial leverage. Microsoft is subject to US law. If the US government issues a national security letter or a FISA court order compelling Microsoft to provide access to data, Microsoft has to comply. Even if EU government documents are stored on European servers, they're encrypted and accessed through software controlled by a US company. The encryption keys, authentication systems, and file format specifications all flow through American corporate infrastructure. Just consider the geopolitical context. EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen warned in January that trade is being weaponized with dangerous transactional realities, a thinly veiled reference to Trump's tariff threats, basically. The US Supreme Court just invalidated $134 billion in tariff collections. The US is essentially in a war with Iran that's driving oil above $110 per barrel while threatening European energy security. In this kind of environment, allowing a US corporation to control the formats holding every German government decision, every contract, every policy document becomes a serious strategic liability. If you want to sharpen your ability to spot these infrastructure dependencies before they become geopolitical flashpoints, check out my book, Awake the Practice of Critical Thinking in an Age of Self-Lies. It walks through frameworks for identifying where technical decisions create political vulnerabilities. It's available in ebook and audiobook. Subscribers get 10% off, and you can read the first chapter for free using the description links below. Germany isn't the first EU country to move toward open standards, by the way, but the Deutschland Stack is the most comprehensive and structurally integrated commitment seen seen at national level. France made ODF mandatory in 2009, with subsequent updates strengthening the requirement, a legal obligation to use open formats in government dealings. The UK made ODF mandatory for government documents in 2014, a decision that was never revoked. Netherlands, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Portugal all adopted similar policies at different times. Italy's 2023 guidelines from AGID define open standards such that only ODF qualifies, though Italian administrations largely ignore these without enforcement so far. The Deutscheland Stack changes the calculation because it's binding through IT Planning Council resolutions and federal guidelines backed by the coalition government. So this is not a recommendation working groups can bypass, it is essentially mandated German infrastructure. Once mandate is in place, the ecosystem just shifts. Vendors must support ODF to sell to German governments, staff get trained on open source tools, procurement contracts require ODF compatibility. The risk of staying with proprietary formats becomes greater than the risk of transition. The EU legal framework already points towards this outcome as well. The European interoperability framework requires open standards and avoiding formats creating supplier dependency. The Cyber Resilience Act, Network Information Security II, and Digital Operational Resilience Act mandate controllable technologies for EU digital infrastructure. Documents are how decisions get recorded and communicated. They're essentially infrastructure. The Interoperable Europe Act, which came into full force 2024, explicitly cites open standards, which in the document context mean ODF, not OXML. Germany linked these legal requirements to the technical mandate. The Deutschland Stack identifies ODF not as an ideological preference, but as a necessary piece of infrastructure for sovereignty and interoperability aligned with European law. Other EU governments operating within the same regulatory context should reach the same conclusion through the same logic. The timing amplifies the signal as well. Germany makes this decision the same month the EU signs its third major trade deal of 2026 after India and Mercosur, now Australia. We have a separate video on that. Check it out next. We've also covered how Europe and Canada are positioning themselves to challenge US currency dominance. Check out that video as well. I'm going to link in the description below. The pattern is just consistent. Europe building alternative systems that function without American participation or approval. Trade networks, payment systems, and now digital infrastructure. I would watch for three developments in the future. First, whether France, Netherlands, and other EU countries with existing ODF policies strengthen enforcement to Deutschland Stack levels within the next 12 months. Second, I would watch whether the European Commission issues guidance recommending ODF adoption EU-wide, referencing Germany as the model. Third, I would watch whether Microsoft or US trade representatives push back through lobbying or diplomatic channels. Presence of pushback confirms the strategic nature of the move itself. If 3 to 5 more EU countries mandate ODF by early 2027, I think we're watching the formation of a European digital sovereignty bloc where US tech companies cannot access government documents infrastructure. Combined with the EU's trade diversification away from the US, 83% of EU trade already happens outside the USA. This represents systematic decoupling of European and American systems at the technical layer. Digital infrastructure shapes transaction flows. When EU governments operate on open standards controlled by ISO rather than Microsoft, when they procure from European vendors, when authentication happens through European controlled systems, fewer euros flow to US companies. And more critically, euro-denominated transaction infrastructure becomes independent of American corporate intermediaries. If US-EU relations deteriorate further, more tariffs, sanctions, trade disputes, stuff like that, the US could theoretically compel Microsoft to deny service, revoke licenses, or provide backdoor access. Under open standards, those pressure points disappear. Germany controls its own infrastructure regardless of relations with Washington. The Deutschland Stack's Made in EU First principle means European companies, LibreOffice Document Foundation, European cloud providers, European data storage, all of those become default procurement targets. American companies lose not just software revenue, but ancillary services, consulting, training, and integration contracts that surround proprietary ecosystems like this. This is how digital sovereignty translates to economic independence, translates to geopolitical leverage. When Europe controls its own document infrastructure, it can negotiate with the US from a position of strength where American tech companies are not embedded in every government office. That's the significant shift Germany just initiated. For more context on how desperate the US position is becoming as Europe builds these alternative systems, check out the video on your screen right now about how the US Treasury Secretary is begging the EU and China for investments into the USA. Thank you all so much for watching, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.